The Fermi paradox is this discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life and the apparently high likelihood of its existence. And apparently, this goes back to a meeting that Fermi was having, sort of a casual conversation in the summer of 1950 with some other physicists. And while walking to lunch, the men discussed recent UFO reports and the possibility of faster than light travel. And apparently, the guys were kind of open-minded to the fact that this statistically should be the case because the universe is so big that it's possible. But then at one point, Fermi blurted out, "But where is everybody?" And coming that question, that one sentence coming from a physicist of that stature, went down in history as a paradox. Books have been written about it. Where is everybody? And I won't get into, again, all the reasons I went deeper into this in episode 133. But, obviously, one of the most likely explanations.
Oh, come on!
It's just so huge. Everything's just spread too far apart. I mean, you can't imagine how huge the universe is, and we just can't find each other. We don't have the technology to reach each other. That's probably the simplest one. But then there are some other really interesting ones that I think are especially thought-provoking, such as the fact that, you and I, we measure life pretty much in terms of a human lifetime. So we might say, okay, human life is in the neighborhood of 70 to 100 years right now. And so we have to break our lives up into days, weeks, and months leading up to this, this span of years that we consider life. But that is irrelevant when it comes to time and the cosmos. And so it may just be that it's very unlikely for two civilizations to have matured at the same time so that they can communicate with each other. You're talking about some incredible synchronicity that these civilizations, they thrive, but they are billions of years apart when they rise and fall, and it just doesn't match up. This is seriously something that many books about, so I'm not going to try to dig into all the options here in this podcast. But this is, from a scientific point of view, this is the question. And in my podcast called Where Are the Aliens? The point of that one was the evidence that I have found to suggest that many of these UFOs, UAP, these types of beings, they tend to be seen around water or around shorelines, and including going in and out of the water. This happens all the time. And so I would say there's a higher likelihood that whatever these things are, whoever these beings are, there's a higher likelihood that they are spending time in the oceans of the world than they are flying around in outer space up above us. I mean, space, from what we can tell, seems to be a pretty dead zone compared to the oceans, which are absolutely overwhelmingly full of and teeming with life. And not only life, but some of the most bizarre forms of life that you cannot imagine. So it would make sense that, it's an easier stretch, logically, to say that these beings are living in that environment, in the aquatic environment. And that does not mean they cannot fly up in the sky and travel at that realm occasionally as well. But that maybe that's where they are more often than not. And it's kind of interesting because as I was going prep for the show, this article popped up here at Fox News, and the headline is, "Only one type of alien life form could make it to Earth's doorstep." This is from a Harvard expert. It says, "Biological creatures will unlikely survive journey to Earth," says astrophysicist Avi Loeb. And I'll just read the beginning here. It says, "A renowned astrophysicist is calling foul on reports of alien sightings in Earth's atmosphere. arguing that biological creatures would be unable to survive the journey to our planet. Quote, it would take about 1 billion years to cross from one side of the Milky Way galaxy to the other. Avi Loeb, a Harvard astrophysicist, on GB News this week. Quote, given that, I don't think any spacecraft that would arrive to us from another star would carry biological creatures. And so I think that basically what, if I get the point here, he's saying like, it's more likely
what the fuck kind of shit is this?
Artificial intelligence. We have already developed that on Earth. We haven't launched into space, but that would be the next step. End quote. You know what? I have to agree. There's something.
Okay, bye, kill all these motherfuckers.
Things I call OUFOs, and but that stands for organic UFO. But really, what I'm talking about is some of these things that may be like artificial intelligence that do have an organic body and a shape-shifting ability. These things flying around us are not always just so black and white as being inanimate, organic, or inorganic.
Oh, goddamn.
And so I tend to think that there is
I'm doing alright, but I'm not doing alright.
And so when we start thinking about this,
hey, I'm coming to game late.
and we start looking into reconciling, well, all these beings are statistically, supposedly, possibly around us. Where are they? When I talked about that in episode 133, I started getting some messages from people saying, well, what do you think about the dark forest hypothesis? And I was aware of it, but I don't think I've ever really sat down and talked about it in particular on this podcast. So let me explain to you what the dark forest hypothesis is. As a matter of fact, let's take our break first, because I want to dig into this, and it is spooky. It is eerie. It is unsettling if you really think about the implications of this thing called the dark forest hypothesis, because it applies not only to the concept of quote unquote aliens flying around out there, but maybe other phenomena that we often consider supernatural, paranormal, maybe interdimensional, all that kind of stuff. Some good news: as I record this particular podcast, we are currently accepting requests for customized, personalized sigils. We go through phases. We'll accept requests for a while, and then we'll have to shut them off. But we are available right now to make you a personalized, customized sigil. If you go right now to thesigillab.com, sigil is spelled S-I-G-I-L, thesigillab.com. And you'll see the information there. We're not doing business sigils for now. Of course, the website needs to be updated because it still says something about holiday sigils, but those are sold out long ago, of course. But you can get a personalized sigil. Also, if you listen to this show, do yourself a favor, okay? Go to my personal website, joshuabwarren.com. Sign up for the free e-newsletter right there on the homepage, and it'll take you 2 seconds. When you do that, then you will instantly receive an automated email from me with some links to free online goodies. joshuabwarren.com. That's me, Joshua P. Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I will be right back.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new cold zone technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.
This ad is brought to you by Green Healthcare, the makers of Tivano, Dolutegravir Lamivudine. Living with HIV? Continue to live authentically and embrace every possibility. Do consider how you stay undetectable. Do learn about Dovato. Dovato is a complete HIV treatment by prescription only for some people 12 and older. Your doctor will determine if Dovato is right for you. Do find out how many medicines are in your HIV pill. Most HIV pills contain 3 or 4 medicines. Dovato is as effective with 2 medicines. No other complete HIV pill contains fewer medicines than Dovato. Do embrace every day.
It is unknown if Dovato is safe and effective if you have HIV and hepatitis B. If you have Hep, don't stop Dovato without talking to your doctor to make it worse or harder to treat. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to its ingredients or taking dofetilide due to serious or life-threatening side effects. If you have a rash or allergic reaction symptoms, stop Dovato and get medical help right away. Other serious or life-threatening side effects include severe liver problems, lactic acid buildup. If you're female or obese, you may be more at risk. Tell your doctor about your medicines or supplements, medical conditions, liver or kidney problems, pregnancy, breastfeeding, or planned pregnancy.
Do ask your doctor about fewer medicines. Visit Dovato.com or call 1-877-844-8872 to learn more.
Is your AI built for everyone? Or is it built to work with your business's data? IBM helps you integrate and govern unstructured data wherever it lives.
Oh, you bitch.
So your business can have more accurate AI instead of just more of it. Get your data ready for AI at IBM.com. The AI built for business. IBM.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting new ways you can make this pro football season unforgettable. Shoot your shot with same-game parlays. Call your plays like a pro with live betting. Or bet on a market you didn't know existed thanks to BetMGM Originals. You'll be on the edge of your seat for the very first snap no matter what type of fan you are. Earn BetMGM rewards points on every bet. Take advantage of football offers found nowhere else, like a second chance on a first touchdown bet. And keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Never settle for the ordinary. Sign up today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Specific promotional offers are not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, and Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. for New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino Hotel.
Is moderate to severe plaque psoriasis keeping you covered up and feeling less confident? Clearer Skin with Bimzelx can give you a chance to say, I'm back. Bimzelx, bimekizumab BKZX, is a prescription medication taken by injection used to treat moderate to severe plaque psoriasis in adults who are candidates for systemic therapy or phototherapy. Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief. Most people got 100% clear skin. In combined clinical studies, nearly 9 in 10 people saw 90% clearer skin, and more than 6 in 10 saw 100% clear skin at 16 weeks. Start getting back to liking your reflection. Say so long to long sleeves. Love your skin again with Bimzelx. Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Get back to clearer skin. Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx, the first approved treatment of its kind. Learn more at BIMCELX.com or call 1-833-UCB-NOW1.
I'm eyes on enemy helicopter just north of your location.
Welcome back to Strange Things. on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Taco Sume. And last year in 2023, I made the Electro Ring available as a special one-time batch made by the world's greatest artisan right here in the United States of America. And I only, he was only able to make a limited amount. And I cannot tell you how many emails I've gotten from people since then. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I missed this. I didn't know about it. Please, how do I get one? A lot of other people say, I bought one, now I want another one. I want to give one to my wife. I want to give one to my kid. So I am talking right now with the artist to see if he will make one more batch, because you have to understand, this man actually smelts the metal, okay? I mean, he gets the stuff and melts it down, and like these are hand hammered in a professional workshop. Everyone is unique. It's custom made to your size. There are no two alike. It's a real electro ring, and so I think we're going to be able to work this out to do one more batch. But I'm just going to tell you right now that the only way I would be announcing it would be through my e-newsletter. And that's because that, I might mention on this podcast that it doesn't time out right, because we have these limited windows when he makes them. And the podcast, you never know exactly when it's going to be posted. So basically, here's the bottom line. If you want to get the dibs, I'll make the cells available if possible for, I'll say you got 2 or 3 days. You want to get one for this last batch. Go to joshuapwarren.com, sign up for my free e-newsletter on the homepage there if you want to be notified that the Electro Ring is available again. I'm hoping it will be sometime in February of 2024. Let's get back to the Dark Forest hypothesis. Now, of course, I've been talking about this idea that, if the science tells us statistically there ought to be the possibility of intelligent life all over the place. Well, where is everybody? If we dig into that question, that Fermi paradox, some folks bring up what is called the Dark Forest hypothesis. And first off, let me read to you what it says here at Wikipedia. The Dark Forest hypothesis is the conjecture that many alien civilizations exist throughout the universe, but they are both silent and hostile, maintaining their undetectability by humanity for fear of being destroyed by another hostile and undetected civilization. In this framing, it is presumed that any space-faring civilization would view any other intelligent life as an inevitable threat, and thus destroy any nascent life that makes itself known. As a result, the electromagnetic spectrum will be relatively quiet, without evidence of any intelligent alien life, as in a dark forest filled with armed hunters stalking through the trees like ghosts. Okay, for a bit more description, I found this article about this topic at bigthink.com, written by Scotty Hendricks. And I'll just read a couple little passages. The Milky Way galaxy has 200 billion stars and perhaps 100 billion planets. If even a small fraction of those planets harbored life, and even a pathetic scattering of those planets and life forms which became intelligent, our galaxy would be teeming with alien civilizations. And of course, we reflect back on the Great Equation and all that. And he says here, Many of the solutions aim at one of the variables in the Drake equation and try to make the supposed number of civilizations lower, blah, blah, blah. But this is the Dark Forest solution, which explains why we have not heard from aliens, because they are purposefully keeping quiet. The reasoning is laid out in the science fiction novel The Dark Forest by Louis Cixin. I guess that's how it's pronounced, C-I-X-I-N. The plot of the book, the second six questions about the best, incorrect, potentially possible alien lives. The arguments laid out like, all life desires to stay alive. There is no way to know if other life forms can or will destroy you if a chance. And that lacking assurance is the safest option for any species is to annihilate other life forms before they have a chance to do the same. So this all leads to this, radio silence. And in fact, here's a paragraph from the actual novel. Quote, "The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost, gently pushing aside branches that block the path and trying to tread without sound. Even breathing is done with care. The hunter has to be careful because everywhere in the forest are stealthy hunters like him. If he finds another life, another hunter, angel, or a demon, a delicate infant, a tottering old man, a fairy, or demigod, there's only one thing he can do: open fire and eliminate them." Okay, so I think you get the idea. The hypothesis here is that maybe these beings, we can just start with the aliens, but you can expand this however you want to. They might be all around you. They might be in your bedroom, in your closet, in your backyard, at your kids' school. They could be anywhere, but they are hiding intentionally because they don't know what the consequences of them and their civilization will be. If we know for sure that they're there, maybe they are being hostile towards us and the people are being kept in the dark. This also, well, okay, let me just mention this because I have gotten emails about this. A while back there was a news story saying that a bunch of people claim that there are these like 10-foot tall aliens running around some shopping mall in Florida. And all these police showed up. And that whole story seems pretty wishy-washy to me. But all I can tell you is I've looked at the video footage and stuff it's about, and I have not seen anything that is evidence that story is true. Doesn't mean it's not. I just haven't seen any evidence. Maybe aliens are all over the place. But here's, I think, the inferior part is that, maybe we're not just talking about aliens, visitors from beyond. Maybe we're talking about literally this other realm of reality that overlays our realm. That there are all of these interdimensional beings that are all around us all the time, and they're very intentionally keeping quiet. And it reminds one, does it not, of the so-called shadow person reports. Because people like my friend Heidi Hollis, who have spent years studying shadow person phenomenon and similar things, they often find that when somebody observes a shadow person, as soon as the shadow person realizes that it is being observed, it darts away. And if you are brand new to this topic, well, a shadow person is just a shadowy silhouette. It's almost like my mom saw a shadow person one time. This was many years ago. She was in North Carolina, and she was at home, I think, by herself. And a human silhouette across, like over in the corner across the living room, caught her eye. And she saw this shadowy figure there, very quietly watching and kind of hovering. At first, she thought it was me. trying to play a prank on her or something like that, because my mom and I have been jokesters over the years, and we've occasionally pranked each other. Excuse me. And so my mom thought it was me, and she said, "Josh, what are you doing? You know, you're busted, I caught you." And then this thing turns and very quickly vanishes. I think it kind of darted down the hallway, and that freaked my mom out, because when she realized that she was home alone, she knew that, well, she had seen something there that appeared to be a real silhouette of a real person. And so the dark forest hypothesis may explain why that some of these beings, whether they are out there billions of light years away, or they're right here, sitting next to you, why that they may intentionally be keeping quiet and maybe even watching us like we're in some kind of zoo. Do you think that that is a good possible explanation, a solution to the Fermi paradox? When we come back from this break, I'm going to tell you something about the process that some of these beings might use when they come here to interact with us. And it leads, interestingly enough, into this topic: 3 things you can do to easily turn your bad luck into good luck. I'm Joshua P. Warren, and you're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I will be back after these important messages.
This ad is brought to you by V Healthcare, the makers of Tivado, Dolutegravir, Lamivudine. Living with HIV? Continue to live authentically and embrace every possibility. Do consider how you stay undetectable. Do learn about Tivado. Tivado is a complete HIV treatment by prescription only for some people 12 and older. Your doctor will determine if Tivado is right for you. Do find out how many medicines are in your HIV pill. Most HIV pills contain 3 or 4 medicines. Tivado is as effective with 2 medicines. No other complete HIV pill contains fewer medicines than Tivado. Do embrace every day.
It is unknown if Tivado is safe and effective if you have HIV and hepatitis B. If you have Hep B, don't stop Tivado without talking to your doctor. This may make it worse or harder to treat. Don't take Tivado if you're allergic to its ingredients or taking dofenyl due to serious or life-threatening side effects. If you have a rash or allergic reaction to symptoms, stop Tivado and get medical help right away. Other serious or life-threatening side effects include severe liver problems and lactic acidola. If you're female or obese, you may be more at risk.
West of your current location. Be advised, we have eyes on ticket Bravo. Zodiac has picked up an incoming hostile missile. Objective Echo has been neutralized. Control of Objective Echo. Just neutralized objective Delta. Have eyes on hostile sniper. Just confirming location. We have just taken control of objective Delta. Enemy helicopter, I say again. Enemy helicopter spotted. Just south of your position. West of Reservoir, hostile enemy. Be advised, enemy missile inbound. Objective Charlie has been neutralized. We have just taken control of objective Charlie. Eyes on hostile anti-tank soldiers just north of your position. Be advised, hostile commander attacked a soldier in our at the HETD. Be advised, we've just neutralized objective Bravo. West of your current location, there appears to be a hostile tank.
Oh, you good. I thought I seen somebody back there. I thought I seen somebody back there.
I've spotted an enemy island just south of your location.
I might need it. The room behind the door stank of sweat and piss, with a sweet undercurrent of rotting flesh. I opened my mouth to keep the scent from overpowering me. The space was full of silence, an uneasy quiet that screamed of someone trying desperately to stay still. Tommy, we're having chicken nuggets for lunch. Don't you like chicken nuggets? The pile of blankets in the corner of the small room started to move, and with a wary shuffle, he emerged. I stared into the back corner, but he insisted on coming into focus at the edges of my vision. A boy, far too skinny, and bearing a summer's worth of untreated injuries. Nuggets. His voice was weak but hopeful. The corner remained dark. Yes, but I need to kiss you first. Pleasure on his face faded when he saw my arm.
Please, no. It hurts. Please let me go home. I miss my mommy.
I briefly remembered Katie's dad. How he cried and begged after then baby Katie had fallen off a wall he had set her on as a joke. She broke her neck. He lived to regret that decision. For a few minutes anyway. Since then I haven't let anyone's tears aside from Katie's affect me. I'm my mother. I have my priorities. Mrs. Harrison will be taking your place soon and then you can leave. But Katie needs you now. Remember how she screamed at the creek? And how you promised you would do anything to help get her better?
I remember.
Something on his cheek gleamed in the gloom. Then I leaned closer and it was gone. The black of his hair instead mainly devoid of the corner. He had understood what had been asked of him. He just wanted to help his friend. But that wasn't my problem. He turned his cheek to accept my kiss.
Damn, we lost! Goal!
WNSP will return after a word from our sponsors. You want longer episodes, no ads, and lots of bonus content? Find out more at sleepless.thenosleeppodcast.com. It's summer, and if you're like me, it feels like summer is a healthier season, right? We're outside, getting sunshine, and not fearing cold and flu season. But every year, this season shows up with the same demands. New routines, shifting weather, and a heightened focus on immune health. Most people think preparing means stocking up on vitamins and hand sanitizer. But real preparation starts inside your body, long before the first cough or cold. That's why I chose Function Health. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. It's an enhanced view of what's happening in your body. Whether you're sending kids back to school or just stepping into a busier season yourself, it's time to recalibrate, to see what your immune system needs and fill the gaps early. Routine physicals can skip this data, so you're left guessing why you feel depleted, why colds linger, or why you're struggling to bounce back after summer festivities. But with Function, you don't have to guess. Focus on the real checklist: the nutrients, immune markers, inflammation, and stress levels that will shape how you feel in the months ahead. Learn more and join using our link. The first 1,000 Sleepless listeners get a $100 credit toward their membership. Visit functionhealth.com/nosleep or use gift code NOSLEEP100 at sign up to own your health. Thanks, Function, for looking after our health. Now back to WNSP's presentation of the No Sleep Podcast.
Shit.
In software development, we talk about versioning, like when a program goes from version 5.5 to version 6.0. It's a concept that's entered the vernacular, like, I lost weight and got a new job. I'm Bob, version 2.0. And normally that kind of change is positive. But in this tale, shared with us by author Jean Gallistel, we meet a woman who's in a relationship, and she'd like to tell us about the changes, the versions her man has gone through. Performing this tale are Aaron Lewis and Atticus Jackson. So you might want to take notes as we learn about the 5 iterations of Brad.